Namaskar, welcome viewers. It is 9 p.m. You're watching the news on Sansad TV with me, Rajiv Kumar Singh. Before we give you the details on the top stories of the day, here are the headlines this evening. Sri Lankan President Gotabaya Rajapaksha leaves the country. National emergency imposed. Ranil Wickremesinghe is caretaker president. Broadcast of state television channels suspended. Union Cabinet approves free booster doses of adults for 75 days starting 15th July as part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, gives green signal to new Taranga Hill Abu Road rail line and Gati Shakti University. Words like Jaichand, Shakuni, Jumla, Jivi featured in Unparliamentary Words 2021. Lok Sabha Secretariat releases new list ahead of the monsoon session. Heavy rains and floods disrupt normal life in Gujarat. Traffic affected in Mumbai. Waterlogging in low-lying areas. Torrential rain in many parts of Rajasthan. People take holy dip in rivers on Guru Purnima. Prime Minister, Lok Sabha Speaker greet people on the occasion. A look at some more important news of the day. Most Modi government reforms in the last 8 years are social reforms to achieve ease of living for the common man, says Union Minister Jitendra Singh. Over 1 crore 22 lakh houses sanctioned under Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana urban scheme was launched in 2015 to provide housing to all. Northeastern region registers over 85% growth in agricultural exports in the last 6 years. Exports crossed $17 million in 2021-22. Manipur shuts down schools till 24th of July amid surge in COVID-19 cases. Test positivity rate crosses 15% in the state. University Grants Commission asks education institutions to fix last date for UG admissions after CBSE Class 12th result. Move to ensure sufficient time for students to secure admissions. India denies facilitating travel of President Gotabaya Rajapaksha out of Sri Lanka, calls media reports baseless and speculative. US Food and Drug Administration approves eye drops to eliminate reading glasses. Drops are said to be most effective in people aged 40 to 55. Study says COVID virus may survive for 30 days on refrigerated frozen meat. Research published in recent Journal of Applied and Environmental Microbiology. French inquiry into fiasco at the UEFA Champions League final in Paris finds many administrative errors and failings. The French government had initially blamed Liverpool fans for chaos. Saina Nehwal avenges India Open loss to compatriot Malvika Bansor with 21-18, 21-14 win, makes it to the second round of the Singapore Open. Sri Lankan President Gotabaya Rajapaksha left the country early on Wednesday, days after protesters stormed his home and office amid a 3-month economic crisis that triggered severe shortages of food and fuel. President Gotabaya Rajapaksha, his wife and 2 bodyguards left abandoned aboard a Sri Lankan Air Force plane bound for the city of Malé, the capital of the Maldives.
Sri Lanka declared a state of emergency after President Gotabaya Rajapaksha left for Maldives on a military jet on Wednesday. Later, he appointed Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe as the acting president, according to the Speaker of the Parliament. The Prime Minister's office told media organizations that a state of emergency and a curfew in the Western province had been imposed. The Prime Minister also ordered security forces to arrest people acting in a riotous manner and to seize their vehicles. Earlier, the police fired tear gas on protesters who gathered near the Prime Minister's office, calling for his resignation in Colombo. Prime Minister Wickremesinghe said he will leave once a new government is in place. Protesters also gathered around the Parliament Speaker's residence. The military was deployed to control the situation. Lawmakers agreed to elect a new president next week, but struggled on Tuesday to decide the makeup of a new government to lift the bankrupt country out of economic and political collapse. The promised resignations have, however, brought no end to the crisis, and protesters have pledged to occupy the official buildings until their top leaders are gone. Bureau Report, Sansad TV.
The High Commission of India in Sri Lanka categorically denied as baseless and speculative media reports that it facilitated the passage of Rajapaksha to the Maldives. The Indian mission tweeted that India will support the people of Sri Lanka as they seek to realize their aspirations for prosperity and progress through democratic means and values. Let us take a look at the rise and fall in the fortunes of the Rajapaksha family that has brought the island nation to its present situation.
For decades, the Rajapaksha family dominated politics in southern Sri Lanka. Mahinda Rajapaksha was elected president in 2005. He led Sri Lanka to a victory over ethnic Tamil rebels in 2009, ending a 26-year brutal civil war that had divided the country. His younger brother Gotabaya was then a powerful official and military strategist. Mahinda remained in office until he lost the 2015 elections. The Rajapaksha family made a comeback to power in 2019. This time, Gotabaya won the presidential election on a promise to restore security in the wake of the Easter Sunday suicide bombings that killed 290 people. Gotabaya promised to bring back stability and development and lead the country out of an economic slump. But what followed proved to be a series of fatal mistakes. Rajapaksha pushed through the largest tax cuts in the country's history. This was the time when tourism was failing due to the Easter Sunday suicide bombings. Foreign loans also came up for repayment on development projects that included a port and an airport in the president's home region. The tax cuts put a strain on the government's finances. Pandemic lockdowns and a ban on chemical fertilizers further destroyed the fragile economy. The country soon ran out of money. Shortages of food, cooking gas, fuel and medicine fueled public anger. The growing protests in April forced 3 Rajapaksha relatives, including the finance minister, to quit their cabinet posts. In the month of May, government supporters attacked protesters in a wave of violence that left 9 people dead. The protests reached a fever pitch on Saturday when thousands of protesters occupied the presidential palace. On Wednesday, Gotabaya left the country for Maldives, with Lankan Speaker announcing elections on the 20th of July. Bureau Report, Sansad TV.
The Union Cabinet on Wednesday took some key decisions at its meeting chaired by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The Cabinet has approved free booster doses of COVID-19 vaccines for adults at public healthcare centers for 75 days starting 15th of July. The campaign is a part of the center's Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav to commemorate India's 75th anniversary of independence.
इससे पहले जो मुफ्त था वो फ्रंट लाइन वर्कर्स थे, कोविड वॉरियर्स थे या फिर 60 साल से ज्यादा के जो नागरिक थे उनके लिए था. अब इसको 18 साल से ज्यादा की उम्र वालों के लिए साफ कर दिया है कि बिल्कुल मुफ्त बूस्टर डोज अब आप लगवा सकते हो और ये सभी सरकारी केंद्रों पर जगह-जगह पर उपलब्ध होगा.
The Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs also approved the construction of the 116-kilometer Taranga Hill Ambaji Abu Road rail line. It would be constructed at an estimated cost of rupees 2,798 crore. The project will benefit the residents of border areas of both Rajasthan and Gujarat. The Union Cabinet has also approved Gati Shakti University in Gujarat. The university would serve as a hub for education, training, skilling and research in the transportation sector. The Lok Sabha Secretariat has compiled Unparliamentary Words 2021, a list of words and sentences that, if used by members, will be expunged from parliamentary proceedings. The compilation has been released for members ahead of the monsoon session of Parliament. It includes words or sentences that were declared unparliamentary in 2021 in the Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha and state legislatures. Use of such words during proceedings in both houses of parliament will be considered inappropriate conduct. Under the Rule 380 of the Lok Sabha's procedure and conduct of business, the Speaker can order that words deemed defamatory, indecent, unparliamentary or undignified be expunged from the proceedings of the House. At least 14 people were killed in the last 24 hours in Gujarat in rain-related incidents. The IMD has issued a red alert during the next 24 hours in Saurashtra and South Gujarat. Over 31,000 have been evacuated so far this rainy season, officials said on Wednesday. 3 national highways in Kutch, Navsari and Dang districts were blocked due to damage caused by rains. 51 state highways and over 400 panchayat roads have also been damaged. Chief Minister Bhupendra Patel has directed the administration to carry out a survey of the affected districts at the earliest. 5 people have died in rain-related incidents in past 24 hours in Maharashtra, taking the death toll to 89 in the state. Many low-lying areas in the state have been flooded, leading to traffic snarls. Amidst the onset of torrential monsoons in the state, a red alert has been issued for Kolhapur, Palghar, Nasik, Pune and Ratnagiri districts for heavy rains till 14th of July. An orange alert has been issued for Mumbai and Nagpur. In Odisha, at least 10 houses were damaged due to a landslide in Gajapati district triggered by heavy rainfall. Major roads in Malkangiri and Kalahandi districts got flooded. The IMD has issued an orange alert for 9 districts in the state. Many other areas in the state were also battered by heavy to very heavy rain that led to waterlogging in many places. In Andhra Pradesh, water flow in river Godavari reached 15 lakh cusecs on Wednesday. State Disaster Management Authority officials have warned people in the vulnerable areas to remain cautious. Close to 10,000 people from worst affected districts are living in relief camps opened by the government. NDRF and SDRF teams have been positioned in vulnerable habitations to tackle any emergency. Heavy rains triggered a flash flood in Himachal Pradesh, Manali on Wednesday. Flood waters inundated a bus stand and streets, damaging several buses and affecting traffic in the area. The Defence Ministry has set a target of rupees 1.75 lakh crore of defence production by 2025, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh said on Wednesday. This includes exports of rupees 35,000 crore. Addressing an event in the national capital, Singh said that India is witnessing a transitional phase towards self-reliance in defence sector. He asked the senior officials of defence PSUs to work together to ensure that their companies are among world's best.
मिनिस्ट्री ने 2025 तक लगभग 1.25 लाख करोड़ माने 1,75,000 करोड़ रुपए के डिफेंस प्रोडक्शन का लक्ष्य रखा है। लक्ष्य हमारा बहुत बड़ा है, लेकिन हम 837 लक्ष्य को हम प्राप्त करेंगे और जिसमें 35 to 40,000 करोड़ रुपए का एक्सपोर्ट भी शामिल है।
Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu has stressed on the importance of holistic, value-based education for overall development of children. Presenting the Sanskar Award to eminent Telugu scholar Garikipati Narasimha Rao, Vice President called for a change in mindset from the marks-focused education. Paying respects to teachers on Guru Purnima, Vice President said that the Guru-Shishya relationship is the most sacred. The festival of Guru Purnima is being celebrated across the country today. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla greeted people on the occasion. On the occasion, devotees took the holy dip at the Sangam in Prayagraj that marks the confluence of the rivers Ganga, Yamuna and Saraswati. In Ayodhya, devotees took the holy dip in the Saryu River. The Buddha is believed to have delivered his first sermon on this day after attaining enlightenment. The festival is dedicated to gurus or teachers who play an important role in steering a person towards enlightenment.
ये आज का दिन गुरु पूर्णिमा का पर्व है और जिन गुरुओं ने हमें शिक्षा दी, दीक्षा दी, जीवन की दिशा दी, उनको याद और स्मरण करने का दिन है.
And in other news from across the nation, Prime Minister Modi met President Ramnath Kovind at the Rashtrapati Bhavan on Wednesday. Ramnath Kovind's term as president ends on 24th of July. Ahead of the monsoon session of Parliament, Rajya Sabha Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu has convened a meeting of floor leaders of various parties on Sunday evening. Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla has called a meeting of the floor leaders on Saturday. Deputy Foreign Minister of Uzbekistan called on Secretary General of Rajya Sabha P.C. Modi. India is one of the first countries to recognize the sovereignty of Uzbekistan after its independence. The two countries share similar positions on many major regional and international issues. The Supreme Court has refused to give interim directions against the anti-encroachment drives. The court said that it can't pass an all-encompassing order to stop the action. The next hearing is on August 10th. 16,906 new COVID cases have been reported in the last 24 hours across the country. The number of patients under treatment has gone up to 132,457. And Odisha celebrates the Rasagola Divas. The tradition honors the return of Lord Jagannath to the Puri temple after 9 days Rath Yatra. The ritual is called Niladri Bije. The report of the Department-related Parliamentary Committee on Personnel, Public Grievances, Law and Justice was submitted to Rajya Sabha Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu through video conference. Chairman of the committee, Sushil Kumar Modi, presented the 117th report of the Committee on the Arbitration Bill 2021.
पश्चिम के देश है और जो डेवलप्ड इकोनॉमी उसे यही सीखने के लिए कि ये मेडिएशन को हम कैसे व्यापक बना सकते हैं और ये बिल आया और मुझे उम्मीद है कि आगे आने वाले वर्षों के अंदर जो मध्यस्थता है ये समस्याओं के समाधान में जो केसेस हैं उनके समाधान में इसकी बहुत बड़ी भूमिका होगी.
Now let us look at some stories from the world of business and economy. The Delhi High Court on Wednesday permitted Vivo to operate its frozen bank's accounts to meet its committed liabilities subject to the payment of 950 crore bank guarantee within a week. The High Court also directed that a balance of rupees 251 crore present at the time of ED's investigations be maintained in the company's bank accounts until further orders. Vivo had sought relief from freezing its assets in what the ED contends is a 1,200 crore rupee money laundering case. Chinese mobile phone maker Oppo India has been slapped a notice in an alleged rupees 4,389 crore import duty evasion case. The finance ministry said incriminating evidence, including willful misdeclaration for ineligible duty exemption benefits, was made. Earlier, the Income Tax Department found irregularities in accounting of income and payment by Oppo. Inflation in the United States surged to a record 40-year high with rising energy, food and housing prices. Grocery prices have jumped 12.2% over last year. Airline fares have gone up by 34%. Overall consumer prices went up by 9.1% compared to the previous year. The World Economic Forum said that rising living costs across the world are expected to hit women the hardest, indicating deepening gender inequalities in the global labor force. It added it will take 132 years for the world to reach gender parity based on present levels of global salaries, economic opportunities, education, health and political empowerment. Cash-starved Pakistan is facing a serious economic crisis with its foreign exchange reserves falling to single digits despite a $2.3 billion loan from China. The IMF has refused to release any bailout package. The Sensex dropped 372 points, while the NSE Nifty lost 91 points as major stocks lost up to 3%. Indus and IND Bank, Bharti Airtel and HDFC were among the top losers. US and European markets lost nearly 2% in trading today, while Nikkei, Taiwan and Kospi in Asia closed higher. Hang Seng suffered marginal losses. Time now for a break in the bulletin, but on the other side, stunning glimpses of our universe captured by the Webb telescope.
We are deliberating the Hindu Marriage Act 1955.
Hindu Marriage Act brought equality in the society. Now men and women both have equal rights, whether it is divorce, marriage or succession.
Under the Hindu Marriage Act, the section which provides for divorce by mutual consent, which has given way for couples who do not want to stay together, which I think is very, very relevant and very progressive.
Watch with us, 75 years, laws that shaped India.
Welcome back. Time now for all the big developments from the Russia-Ukraine war front. Ukraine's Foreign Minister Dmytro Kuleba has asked for security for ship owners, cargo owners and Ukraine as a country before grain can safely be exported. Ahead of the meeting with United Nations representatives in Turkey, Kuleba said that Russia is playing hunger games by putting millions of people at risk of starvation. The war has trapped about 22 million tons of grain inside Ukraine, which is also known as the breadbasket of Europe. Kuleba also called for Ukraine's allies for additional heavy weaponry, saying the deliveries need to be sped up. He said the military supplies from the Western countries have been key to Ukraine's surprising success against Russian forces, but the nation needs more weapons. He stressed Ukraine wants peace and that it was up to Russia to show they are too. The United Nations Human Rights Office said more than 5,000 civilians had been killed in Ukraine since Russia invaded on February 24th. The agency said that the real death toll was probably much higher. Russian authorities have launched a criminal case against Ilya Yashin, an opposition figure and a critic of Russia's war in Ukraine. He has been charged with spreading false information about the military, his lawyer said. The charge carries a potential sentence of up to 15 years in prison. Yashin was arrested in late June in a Moscow park for failing to obey the police, for which he was due to be released in 15 days. Time now for some other global updates. NASA on Tuesday unveiled a new batch of images from its new powerful space telescope, including a foamy blue and orange shot of a dying star. The $10 billion James Webb Space Telescope shows a jumble of distant galaxies that went deeper into the cosmos than humanity has ever seen.
NASA released 4 photos on Tuesday that included more cosmic beauty shots, including the Carina Nebula, one of the brightest stellar nurseries in the sky, about 7,600 light-years away. Other images were of a nebula where stars are born and die in spectacular beauty, and an update of a classic image of 5 tightly clustered galaxies that dance around each other. Bureau Report, Sansad TV.
And another news from across the world. China's new loan for the first half of 2022 have grown to a record high. Chinese yuan loans increased by 2.1 trillion US dollars, up by 141.5 billion US dollars from a year earlier. Higher loans led to a lesser investment and therefore lesser growth. Forecasters have cut estimates for China's economic growth to as low as 2% this year, well below the ruling Communist Party's target of 5.5%. The first round of ballots are being cast to elect a new Conservative Party leaders to succeed Boris Johnson as the UK Prime Minister. British Indian former Finance Minister Rishi Sunak is holding on to his lead. The first ballot paper has 8 candidates. The 358 Tory members of Parliament will cast the first set of votes for their favourites. Shortlisted candidates can progress to the next round only if they are backed by at least 30 colleagues. The second round of the secret ballots will be held on Thursday. Ahead of American President Joe Biden's visit to the region, Iranian Foreign Ministry spokesperson Nasser Kanani called on the U.S. to change its policy in the Middle East. He urged the U.S. to stop supporting Israel and said Biden should take a look at public opinion across the region. Biden has made reviving the Iran nuclear deal, brokered by Barack Obama in 2015 and abandoned by Donald Trump in 2018, a key priority. Time now for all the sporting action. In cricket, India will look to seal the 3-match ODI series against England at the home of Cricket Lords tomorrow at Oval. In the first match, Indian bowlers restricted England to 110 and then openers Rohit Sharma and Shikhar Dhawan reached the target without being separated to give India a 10-wicket win and a 1-0 lead in the series. Bumrah's career-best performance of 6 for 19 in the first ODI against England has worked wonders for him in the ICC rankings as he moved 3 positions to become the top-ranked bowler in ODIs. The former India captain Virat Kohli, who is enduring a prolonged bad patch and missed the first ODI against England due to groin strain on Tuesday, is still doubtful for the second game on Thursday. In badminton, Mithun Manjunath recovered a stunning win over Kidambi Srikanth in the first round of the Singapore Open today. World number 77 Manjunath defeated number 11 Srikanth 21-17, 15-21, 21-18. PV Sindhu progressed to the women's singles second round with a convincing straight games win over Belgian Lian Tan. The third-seeded Indian prevailed 21-15, 21-11. That's all we have in today's news. For more updates, keep watching Sansad Television. Good night.